Hello, it looks like I'm live. It's 7:30. Uh, so it says live, so I'm assuming that means live. So welcome. My name is Gwenda Lambert, and welcome to Cards and Charts and Tarot Tuesday. And this is our reveal. And it's a little it's funny, this weather that we get where it's gone from hot to cold and hot to cold. It does horrific things to our heating in our homes here, right? So anyways, so this week we've got some really fabulous cards going on here. So I am going to just jump in because today when I pulled from Denise Linn's Sacred Traveler Oracle deck, and these two cards would not separate. They wanted to come out together, and so it has to be the both of them. So, excuse me. The first one is Grace and Gratitude, which is just gorgeous. These are pretty little cards. I love everything purple. Through gratitude, joy expands. And I think this is, we'll just read through the card meeting. The secret to expanding joy is to cherish the preciousness of life and everyone and everything around you. It's simple, easy, and so very powerful. Be grateful for as much as you can. Thankfulness is a modern day alchemy. It can yield happiness, grace, and peace beyond imagination. And the Sacred Traveler wants you to know that the secret to a remarkable, fulfilling journey is to allow gratitude to flood you at every juncture, no matter what twists and turns are in the road. Whether you are comfortable or uncomfortable, whether you are confident or unsure, no matter what you are experiencing, even in your challenges, even though your challenges may seem insurmountable, feeling grateful will ease any challenge, blah, blah, blah. And it's not blah, blah, blah. I mean, I think this is so significant. So this is the first card, right? Hi, Aisha. I know you're feeling much better. Thank you for your reading last night. Oh, and I want to thank everybody that for the love yesterday. It was very nice. And I appreciate it. And I love you all. So the second card that literally came out at the same time is Crossing Bridges. Now, these two were stuck together. Like, normally, for anybody that works with cards, there's some times where, you just pull a card and it just simply comes out. Then there's jumpers, and that's where they just jump right out of the deck at you when you're shuffling or you're doing whatever you're doing. But this, it's very rare. Like, I had this happen twice today, actually, because I was doing my own reading this morning, and this one card wanted me to pick it, and I picked the one behind it instead. But the other one, like, it just wouldn't let me go, like, energetically. So I had to go back and pull that one. And it was really funny because the first one was more significant to what's going on for me at this point in time. But so with these guys, they came together. They would not separate. Like, somebody put a piece of gum, chewed up gum in between the two of them. They would not come on their own, but yet now they slide, they slip, and that's something that we would call a sign in the spirit world. So Crossing Bridges, it's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. I mean, could you say more for what's going on in our world right now? Card reading. Or card meaning, crossing bridges is a way to let go of the past and begin a new cycle of life. Heartfelt change is ahead. It's time for healing old wounds with people and situations. It's time to forgive and let go of the past. Do whatever you need to make amends and then let it go. If there's anything unresolved in your life, take steps to restore and reconcile. You may even need to burn the bridges behind you. Heal the rifts within yourself. Help others traverse bridges in their lives. And so it wants you to know that when the traveler crosses a bridge, a new land awaits on the other side. You're ready to cross the bridge or bridge a gap in your life. There are times to step away from certain people and situations. There's also times to carefully mend bridges with people, situations, places, and then go forward. This is one of those powerful healing times to choose. Maybe there's a wound inside that needs to be forgiven or accepted. Transform the inner grievance, forgive, let it go, do it now. You no longer need to carry it with you. So as you see, these two cards are powerful just in themselves, right? So just having the two of those together, and I think it just really reflects what's going on right now, right? There's lots of people, you know, our communications with people. I'm just going back to, because the one event that comes into my life is after 9/11. I was having this vision for days, and it came after I was talking to somebody after the planes had gone, and it was a horrible, and he was like, we have to go, we have to kill them. And it was like, my heart broke, it ached, it was so painful, it wasn't even funny. And so, but the vision that I kept having was all these people around a huge body of water, all holding hands, and their hearts were glowing, right? Their hearts were glowing. And right now, there's been a lot of manipulation in a lot of different ways, where people want their voices heard. And really, what happens with this, and this is the wonderful part, is first of all, be grateful that you live here and not in a mud hut somewhere, or in a tent in, you know, a refugee camp somewhere, or this is the whole thing, is we have a lot of things that there but for the grace of God go I, right? That we are all connected, right? When we fear each other, when we and there's a big difference between having a difference of opinion with people and hopefully trying to come from love. So this is really, I know Aisha and myself, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago about social media and how we're using it and how you're trying to connect. Well, if somebody's irritating you, it's a reflection back to you of something that's going on in your own life, right? It's if you're getting to the point where you can't have a conversation with somebody, then that means that we need to work on ourselves, right? And if you know, any of you guys that know me, Ho'oponopono is simple. 4 phrases over and over again, and being honest and open enough to listen for the responses. And so that, I think, is exactly what's overarching everything right now. Is, I know we've got the U.S. is coming up to Thanksgiving, and I wish all of my U.S. people love, and again, everybody wants to be with their family. People don't like being lonely. Is it lonely or is it being alone? There's a big difference in those two statements as well. So, maybe you can be creative, but people are going to travel. Just you've got to keep in mind that we are all connected. We are all connected. And sorry, I just got off the phone with a friend who literally cannot leave her home because she is one of those vulnerable people. She is one of the most at risk, and she hasn't left her home in 9 months, right? So, for those of you that are going out and at least going for walks and doing things like that, again, it all comes down to grace and gratitude, right? There, but for the grace of God go I. So let's get into the cards today. So I think they're very powerful because overall, what's happening is this love, right? This, like, peel back the layers to what's stopping you from being loving. Now, that doesn't mean that you might need to burn some bridges, but for the most part, you've got to figure out what it is that you want to do and what it is that you stand for, right? And start there. And this is where we get into some beautiful cards. So this is really a nice touchy-feely kind of week. So I'm very excited about that. So card number 1 is beautiful. 3 of water which is, again, water. We're starting with an emotion card, but it's a 3, so it's a beginning. Exactly. This is a celebration, a wedding, graduation, or birth announcement. The need to have more fun. And I did just see somebody today that was posting about how, everybody's being flooded, because now I'm sure all of us, right? We're getting flooded by everybody's content, and everybody's just done Brendon Burchard, so they're doing their content 4 times a day or 2 times a day. And it's really like overwhelming because everybody wants to help everybody. But I think there's also got to be this time for, and I love the part about 3 of water, which is fun. The great part about the 3s is that it's part of the process where you haven't gotten too jaded yet, right? You haven't gotten to the point where, hi Wendy, you haven't gotten to the point yet where you're feeling like, okay, this is work and this is going to take the last bit. It's all about the fact that it's like, I think we just need to lighten up, like all of us, right? Like just lighten the heck up, right? And actually this is very exciting. I'm plugging for something that I do. Again, this friend that I was just talking to, she's like, oh, I'd like to get out there and talk to all these people. And I said, listen, come online with me. So I'm hoping to have her. And then you can hear it from somebody who's literally got lung issues and cannot leave her house. So if you can leave your house, you're already 10, light years ahead, that there's lots of people out there, right? So if we can look at, instead of what people want to take from us, what is it that I can give? Okay? And this is everything about this week. So 3 of water, let's have some fun. What's it say here? It's a time for celebration, weddings, announcements of pregnancy or birth. And again, it's a 3, so the 3 is a beginning of the cycle. You need to have more fun. You're working too hard and must learn to relax. Throw a party or take a vacation. Additional meanings, community, entertainment. So this is the thing too, right? So thank you for everybody that wished me a happy birthday yesterday. My beautiful friends in this building, like I'm not the best cook. So my gorgeous friend Enzo made food. They brought it down we had all our masks on. He passed it off. And then we went on a Zoom call. And so I had dinner with them. And so we ate this meal that they made for me. And then, it was lovely. It was perfect. And you know what? Am I hugging people? No, that's not the situation. Am I in connection with these people? Am I in community with them? Yes. And it was fun. And we got to talk smack and we got to laugh. And then later a couple other neighbors were able to get on and I love them too. So you know what? And I love the outpouring on social media. There's lots of people, my cousins from Australia, people from all over the States, things like that. So, instead of, it's a change of perspective sometimes. But with this 3 of water, have more fun. Have more fun. Okay? And this is emotional. So this is stop being stoic. Stop pretending that everything's great, because you know what? This is a marathon. That's what I said with Hina on Sunday when we do Just Talking. This is a marathon. It's always been a marathon from the start. It's never been a sprint. And so you need to keep that up. So let's look for ways to have fun. And even people that are posting stuff, whatever it is, some of the posts that we can do, it's great because we got to tell people who we are and all that kind of stuff. But try and put in some fun stuff. Just try and put in 1 or 2 posts that's just silly, because I don't know about you, a lot of people are overwhelmed in social media. You want to be able to just see fun stuff, right? So 3 of water, have more fun. Now, card number 2, I don't know why I have to do that today, but I just feel it. So card number 2 is a major arcana. We had lots of 2s today, and it's the Lovers. Oh, gorgeous. Archangel Raphael. So for anybody that's feeling so the thing is with the Lovers is this is about intimate relationships. So this can be friendships, it can be, marriages, partners, whatever. But carefully weigh your decisions and good health. So the thing is with the Lovers, and again, everything this week has got this overarching crossing bridges, which is time for healing, mending, and then grace and gratitude. So even if in the Lovers, what he says, significant relationship is on your mind, Communication is key right now. It's important to develop trust within the relationship. And this is, the funny thing is, we can be in a relationship with somebody for ages and be talking about the weather all that time. And then one day we need it to go deeper. So we ask a question. Now, how many of you have ever been surprised that it's like, oh my God, we just had this one conversation and we let it unfold instead of being uptight, or instead of being, instead of having this expectation, I just let it happen. And all of a sudden your heart opened up, and all of a sudden the depth of your relationship got deeper. I mean, the one thing here is, and this is, it's cliche coming especially from a single person, but we can fall in love whenever we want, right? We just love. Part of it is about choosing to love, and it's not necessarily romantic love, right? It's about actually choosing to be loving. So even if that relationship is not meant for you, even if it's not going to go further than where it is right now, the importance is that you choose to be loving in that place. So if you're doing anything to block you off, because these first two they're both water, they're both they're both emotional cards. The one thing about the Lovers, who is it that you want to be in that relationship? What kind of relationship do you want to be in, and act as if? So this is where the other thing, the fake it till you make it, I think often gets misconstrued. Walking around with a bravado is not the same as saying, well, if I'm going to be in a loving relationship, I need to be loving. Well, first you need to be loving to yourself. So even if it's a friendship, if it's a relationship, if you're not getting what you need, then set healthy boundaries, and ask yourself what it is that you need in a relationship, right? So that's the interesting part, because we've got this crossing bridges. We've got this, this grace and gratitude, just coming from a place of saying, hey man, you know what? There has to be attraction. There has to be all that kind of stuff for sure. But it's like the other part is just to say, let's not get in our own ways, right? Let's get out of our own way, right? And that's what that crossing bridges is all about, right? Is taking time enough. And even the Lovers card, this is a major arcana. This is saying, okay, this starts with a love affair with you. So make sure that you come first, and then you can, the interesting thing is, I was just listening, it's a fabulous book. It's called The Energy Codes by Dr. Sue Morter. And this is something, again, that particularly hit home for me today, because a lot of times with empaths or people that feel a lot, deep feelers, they talk about putting this, the golden bubble or the white circle of protection. Whereas Dr. Sue Morter talks about when you come from love, right? Then you are sending love out instead of doing a protection bubble that stops things from getting in. And I don't know any of the other empaths in the room, but it's that's one of the biggest things for me is I feel other people, but I don't want to stop that feeling, because that, and I don't mean I don't want to stop that feeling like pain or whatever, but it's I know that when that wave of pain goes through me, that gives me information, right? So I need that information. That helps me in my intuitive hit. That helps me find the right words to say to these people, whoever it is that I'm dealing with, right? So there's a big difference. Again, the big difference, and this is a mental framework, is that, are you looking to stop things from getting in, or are you looking to be present in the world, right? So that's sort of what's going on right now. This one's just, I got so excited today because the last few readings have been really intense, and there's got to be work and all that stuff. And right now it just feels like, take time. This is it's not even an exhale that we've talked about. I mean, this is just a, woo! Just doing things silly, So, card number 3, woohoo! 5 of Fire. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? And 5 of Fire. Now 5, this one is the only thing that would be anything kind of challenging, which is the 3. which is card number 3. And the only reason is because once you're in a 5, you are at that place where the honeymoon's started already, like the honeymoon's gone, and you're like, okay, is this the way that I want to go? And in this case, the 5 of fire is all about creativity, and it's about spiritual connection and knowing, to thine own self be true. And the whole thing with this, competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. So this is all about knowing ourselves as well, right? So 5 of fire, you're experiencing some challenges. All 5s have challenges. Other people around you hold different goals and values. There's disagreement how to proceed, along with a clash of wills. Success is still possible, but it takes great effort. You may enjoy this type of challenge, or it may exhaust you. This is a competitive situation. It will be necessary for everybody to try to understand one another's viewpoints. So, and one of the things I really like here, is nuances, is one of the additional meanings to this card. And that's because, the other thing that happens when we get a point of view, or when we have an idea, we have a certain set, maybe a set vision in our head, or certain things that are, that we would, certain things that we want to see things unfold. And once we have expectation about anything, that's where it sends up blocks. So again, we're looking at this beautiful crossing bridges, which is figuring out what matters to us, the bigger picture, the intention. And if if any time that we've talked, or that I've talked to you, there's a big difference between goals and intentions, right? Your intention is like, okay, this is what I want to do. So this is really a time, and the great part about 5 of fire is that is about, it's almost like when you get an idea, this is the throwing spaghetti at the wall kind of fire card, right? Because it's all about, okay, what is it I really believe? What's germane to this idea that I really need to carry forward, right? And so that's what the 5 of fire is about. So it's about cutting your teeth on the idea and getting it where it's like more of a, oh no, it's not really that I'm saying, it's that. And sometimes the gift, right? Again, we look at grace and gratitude. We look at the people that are in our lives, the situation in our lives. Aren't you blessed to be able to have these ideas and have the resources to be able to do something with that? I know that my dear friend Pearl is here tonight. And what Pearl does, this is fabulous. It's a shameless plug, but it actually gets into this 5 of fire. So what she does is she takes clothes that you may already have, and she changes them, modifies them, blends them, with other clothes maybe, or to make a style, because maybe there's something about the fabric you liked, or, the style. But these days, no, it's not really working for me now, but I still want it to be part of my life. So this is the same as the 5 of fire. So that's what my friend Pearl does with clothes. And any of you guys that know that I've done Caravana, my God, sometimes she would build a whole outfit like overnight. But this is the same kind of example, is that what is germane to what brings you joy, what brings you happiness, what makes you feel alive, and especially now, right? Now, the whole world's turned on its head a little bit, and there's people that are pushing back, and we all need to be able to take a breath and readjust our head and readjust our hearts, and just remember, or actually, this is what I would say the theme of even tonight is, what does being part of a community mean to you? How does that look for you, right? So that's in closing, that's probably the most important thing, is that we are all blessed in some way, shape, or form. We all have ideas, but, and we all have contributions to make, but understanding what really matters to us, and being grateful for the fact that, let's face it, any of us here in Canada, if you're watching this on the internet, then that means you've got some sort of computer, you've got some sort of internet, you've got resources, So let's do our best over the next week to be playful, to bring joy to to what we do, right? And what we post. And instead of maybe even just posting, this is the one thing, everybody always looks perfect, right? When they're on social media. Maybe just do something that's just showing you. Even good day, bad day, doesn't matter, because we're all in this together, right? And I don't know about you, but I've had enough of the rah, rah, rah and the screw you and all that kind of stuff. Let's just be playful and joyful. Okay, that's it. I talked a lot. It's 25 minutes now. I love you all. I hope you have a fabulous evening, and we shall see you next week. Okay? Love you. And, just talking on Sundays as well. Over at Gwenda Lambert Life Starts Now. Have a great night. Love you. Okay, how's this work?